Okay, so now let's talk about validations. Validations are really intense because you have to actually be able to do the validations as well as do all your tests, do all the required reading, and get it down. So I'm going to tell you a really big secret that was told to me and everybody else. Take one day at a time with the validations. Do not study ahead. So if you have like a validation on Foley calves for next week, don't start studying for it the week prior because you already have a validation in place, and most times you'll have 3 or 4 validations that you're doing that week. Take one validation at a time and you will pass every single last validation. I guarantee it. And make sure that when you're in the lab that you practice. Practice. So yeah, I know that you say, okay, well, how are you going to do it when you have all these tests and everything? You have to like really study. Well, if you have 20 minutes or 30 minutes, then what you need to do is get right into that lab and go ahead and start practicing on those dummies. And no, I'm not talking about your other colleagues. They actually have dummies there. So that's a little joke for you. But practice. Practice with your colleagues. Practice on the mannequins that they have there. You know, you have practice makes perfect, but only do it one day at a time. When you can get in there early, the day before validations, because everyone goes in like particular sections. So you will be granted a section, like a section from 11 to 12 or from 1 to 2:30. So you all will be paired into groups of, I would say maybe 10 or 13 people, maybe more. So if you know that your section, particular section starts at 12 o'clock and that's when they're going to test you out, then you need to be up there practicing at 9, 10 a.m. in the morning just to get it extra, just to make sure everything goes smoothly. Because they're going to ask you rationale on why you're doing it, so you need to know that. Let's say like the Foley calves or the NG tube. What type of patient would get an NG tube? Why would they need it? What type of medication can be dispensed with an NG tube? What can't you do with an NG tube? You know, Foley calves, you know, what type of patient would get a Foley calf? When should you stop? You know, what would happen? They'll give you different scenarios just to see if you're able to critically think, because that is really important in this program, is being able to critically think and actually get yourself out of a bind or out of a jam. Like for me, I had a problem when I was doing a validation on sterility, and I had already put on my sterile gloves, and I could not, and my field was a little bit too far to the right of me. So I couldn't touch anything. So it was almost okay, what am I going to do in this situation? Well, guess what? That's why God gave me 2 legs and 2 feet. So I pushed the table over with my foot, and boom, critical thinking right there. You have to be able to, like, you know, think at a drop of a dime. And you can't take that long thinking either, because then that shows them that you're not able to think critically effectively or efficiently. Because here's your patient, you know, lying here waiting for you. If it takes you 3 minutes to 5 minutes to get a solution, then that is a problem. So with these validations, you need to critically think. You need to know why you're doing a procedure, why you would not do the procedure, and what type of medications that you would dispense in that validation. Because these are all core questions that you'll be asked and you'll be expected to know. So, one validation at a time, one day at a time, it works. If you have 3 validations that day, then you're doing 3 validations on that day, and that's all to it. And they will fail you. So, if you don't know your stuff, your validators will fail you. And if you fail 2 validations, you're out the program, and that's it for you. So then you'll have to wait you'll have to go and talk to the nursing advisor, and then you'll go from there to see if A, you can start in the next cohort, or B, if you're out of the program altogether. Because yeah, they really do. They're really very stringent on their validations, and they should be, because guess what? You're going to be taking care of somebody, and that's very important. And every time I did my validation, I made sure that I made sure to keep in my mind the way that I'm doing my validation and the way that I'm taking it serious is because if that was my own family member, I would want to provide the best care possible. And that's what nursing is providing the best care possible. So don't get that, out of your mind. You want to do the best job possible every single time with your validations. So if you guys have any questions about your validations, or if you're going through them now, I think the next cohort starts in May, so you guys wouldn't. But if you have any questions, then you can drop them in the drop box below, and I'll make sure to check and answer them and help you guys out to the best of my ability. But validations, one day at a time, and that's all you need to really focus on. So talk to you guys on the next bit. Hope this helped.